Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something sick.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Well, I couldn't remember all week. I was trying to remember the part that we worked with, and I could only remember pieces. I was wondering if you could remind me.
Yes, I'd love to. How about a minute of meditation?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the parts from last time, you were talking about having difficulty doing check-ins and parts around that and parts that were maybe felt like they were stopping you from that. You had mentioned a young part, I forget the age, maybe 4, who had the feeling of being with your sister and being afraid or being threatened that your dad would throw away your toys.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a part that kind of identified with that kind of anger part, and it was representing or reflecting your dad.
Yeah.
And then I think when you tried to talk with it, there was a kind of a 12-year-old part that didn't want you to, or that wanted to be more in the conversation. We asked her to step back. And then, I think that was kind of the part that we focused on the most, was the one that was kind of, showing itself to be like your dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that part, that it kind of morphed into a Buzz Lightyear.
Right.
Type. I'm sorry, what was the initial part that I was dealing with?
Well, you had mentioned having difficulty doing check-ins.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think one of the first parts that came up around that was kind of an anger or a...
Yeah.
You had the kind of dad anger energy.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I mean, would it make sense to revisit some of that?
Let me think. Wait, when you say revisit, what do you mean?
I just mean to learn more about those parts. If you hadn't, you said you'd kind of forgotten. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I was kind of encouraged and just thinking about how you might check in with that part or get closer to that part.
Yeah.
Since it seemed to have so much influence on your system.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So what would be, how do you conjure it? How do you get back in touch with that part? Is there a memory or a sensation that is associated with it?
Well, two things are coming up. The Buzz Lightyear image, which kind of makes me smile and laugh because it's like so serious, but a toy. And that and shame, a lot of shame I've been feeling. I don't know, inner critic or what, but a lot of, not good enough or not doing enough. When I, even like during my day, I kind of am constantly feeling like whatever I'm doing is not enough. And kind of like a shameful, like I need to just keep doing things and being more productive, and otherwise I'm failing.
Okay.
I don't know if they're related.
We could just try to find out by asking them, by comparing the sensations.
Okay.
Or by imagining kind of one in each hand.
Okay.
Or if you're feeling, if you have that kind of positive regard for the Buzz Lightyear, then that might be a foot in the door, an easier way to contact that part and then ask how it might be connected.
Okay. It's funny because it talks to me like Buzz Lightyear. And like it was kind of like, well, you see, my stepdad came up and he said, like I always had a really positive regard for my stepdad, and kind of whatever he said, I just listened to and believed. I think, and he was, nice, but he would kind of tell me like, oh, these are things I should do. And I was just like, yes, I was so wanting of his or any man's approval that I just listened, but I don't necessarily, it's not necessarily what's best for me. I'm just I'm not listening to myself. I'm listening to this other, authority
Right.
type figure.
Right. And so that Buzz Lightyear kind of has that a similarity to that of like, it's a positive kind of authority, but it still has all this suggestions that aren't necessarily best for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
all right.
like this, needing to produce more, get more done, stay busy.
Right. Okay. And how are you feeling towards that part right now?
I think a little frustrated. I can see that it means well, but I don't know, maybe I'm more frustrated with myself for listening to it.
Okay.
And not just saying, hey, like not setting a boundary,
Right. Okay. So the frustration around your relationship with this part, whether that is it's how it shows up or how you respond, both. Maybe you could just stay with that frustrated part and just see what else it wants you to know about that. And if it can help, maybe give some clarity to which of those feel more pressing for it, or if it can just say more about its experience.
It sounds like a teenager, like even saying, God, I'm so tired of people, probably men, telling me what to do. And, you're not the boss of me. And I can do whatever I want. But at the same time, still feeling like a heaviness of like not being able to do things differently, like there are chains on her ankles and she can't leave this situation.
Okay. So she's got the frustration of tired of being told what to do, feels like she can do it herself, but then also doesn't so much feel like she's free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Does that all make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So let her know that makes sense. And check in with her about how she feels or how much she trusts you to go and work with these parts that are telling her what to do, these parts that are maybe this Buzz Lightyear part that's given the orders. How does she feel about you going to work with that part in order to help her out, and help the whole system out?
Okay. Yeah, she is agreeable to that.
Cool. And you could just let her know that you have the intention to help her, and you want to help her get free of those chains too. So we can promise to come back to her.
Okay.
And about how old is she?
It's interesting because she looks like 15 or 16, but she says I'm 12.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, thank her for giving you the space to work with these other parts. We'll see if we can kind of go to the source. So turning now back to Buzz Lightyear part. How do you feel towards it now?
I feel curious.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let him know you're curious and ask what he wants you to know about him or about his role.
He says, it's funny how he keeps talking in like Buzz Lightyear. He says, well, you see, I was created, or I'm a robot, and I was created to keep everyone here safe.
Yeah. And how does that work? How does he see himself doing that?
He's showing me how he marches around. So he says, for one, I'm constantly assessing the environment and looking for danger.
Mm-hmm.
And for two, the other part is that he makes sure everybody stays on task
Mm-hmm.
and is productive, doing their job.
And how long has he been doing that job?
he doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, well, I just woke up and was doing this job.
Sounds like an answer a robot would give.
Yeah.
Are there specific parts that, or are there specific parts that he feels like he's protecting?
Well, he brings up the teen part, and it's interesting because he's like, she thinks she knows best, but I've seen the pain that's been caused by her leaving and going out and being in, social groups. And he's like, no, she's just safer.
Mm-hmm.
She's safer here.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And what is his concern? What's his fear that will happen if he doesn't do that job?
That she'll get hurt again and send, the whole system into another depression that lasts several years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. And when he says hurt again, I mean, are those things that he can show you or that you're aware of, specific traumas or injuries?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it sounds like his intention is definitely to protect, and that he may have really done that sometime in the past.
Yeah.
So see if you can just show him some appreciation for that intention.
Okay.
See how he responds.
Yeah, he likes it. It's like, well, I'm just doing my job, but is smiling.
Mm-hmm. Is there any more that he wants to say about his job, or how he likes it, or if he would like to do something differently if he didn't have to work so hard?
Okay. I see him in this might have come up last time. I can't remember, but I see him in a Hawaiian shirt, and he's like, I've always wanted to learn how to surf.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, like out of the whatever Buzz Lightyear gear, and has like human body, human cartoon body.
Yeah. Okay. And does he trust you? Does he trust you to maybe go and work with the parts that he protects? Or what's his level of trust there?
Okay. Yeah, it's she was like, well, I don't know. And he's like, you've been neglecting parts, but then he's like, well, that's kind of on me. So yeah. And he's like slowly backing away, like he can't wait to leave and go surfing. Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, yeah, well, you got it.
Okay. Huh. That's cool that he was able to kind of show you his person behind the gear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe before leaving him, you could just ask if there's anything else that he wants to share with you or ask of you.
Okay. Yeah, he's saying, to make sure it's like, well, keep her safe, the teenager. And I think he's saying it's not about keeping her locked up in a room. It's more about listening to my gut and, letting the right ones in.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, if it feels right, then just thank him. And if you want to turn to that teen girl part now.
Okay.
How are you feeling towards her now?
Compassionate.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and let her know that you're feeling compassionate. And how are you being with her? How close does she feel?
She has her head on my lap.
Mm.
I'm comforting her.
Mm-hmm. before she was talking about, being so sick of being told what to do, but then also having that frustration with not feeling like she's so free or capable.
Yeah.
Is there more she wants to say around that, or is there just anything else that she wants to share with you about her experience?
Okay. Well, there's I've shared with you before about back in 2017, and I felt free for the first time, and I creative, and I let people in that my gut told me not to, and and then I thought, oh, I finally found my community, and I got really excited, and just kind of let it all in, and then ended up getting really hurt, and it's showing me that like see, that's why, or she's shown me that like this is why we've been in chains all this time, because that's what happened when we let people in. But she sees that, like I didn't listen to my gut, so it wasn't what's the word? Like she has some power over preventing that in the future,
Right. Yeah. So the chains are kind of self-imposed to keep her from being so inviting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you say listen to your gut, does that feel like that concept of the gut, does that feel like you're referring to self, or does it feel like there's another part that has, this other information to give you?
I'm not sure. I was thinking about that this week about, what is self, and where is self, and, how can I orient to self to know, I think it's probably self. Like if I think of also self for me, probably being connected to like the higher power universe, whatever, having like a spiritual component to it.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe you could check that with her. You could check if when you're talking about listening to your gut, if you really mean listening to you.
Yeah, it's definitely I feels like a combination of me, but like me, the spiritual part of me that's kind of attached to, connected to a knowing of the universe. It feels, yeah.
Sounds like self to me.
Okay.
Is there more that she wants to say about her experience around all of that and how hard that was for her? Or does she feel like you get that?
Okay. Yeah, she's just showing me, I think she knows I get it, but just reminding me, she's like, there's so many days that we wanted to die. Like, I just, for, months and months and, even years, like on end, just, only staying alive by like a string of hope, It's like a tiny thread.
Yeah. And what would she need from you to be able to trust that she could be herself and that you wouldn't invite the wrong people in that would hurt her and hurt you in that way?
Well, it seems like she understands I have been much more, what's the word, like listening or not just letting, like if somebody feels dangerous, I've been listening to that. Or having boundaries or a guard up with certain people. But that it's also probably more importantly about the healing that I've done and am, still doing around my dad. And, because a lot of those rejection type situations were really about him and, them projecting that rejection onto other people. Like the magnitude of it, versus, and the heaviness of it versus like, oh, okay, well, these people turned into assholes and they stole stuff from me. Okay, that's on them. That's their life choices. And I'm glad they're not in my life anymore. And yeah, that stings a little, but, I don't have to become suicidal and depressed for several years. Because other people, act in ways that are hurtful.
Yeah. Okay. So she's seeing and sharing with you how there's the kind of two sources of pain. One being the external, people do things, someone steals from you, but the other which sounds like it's a lot stronger, a lot more intense, is kind of the internal continuation of that feeling of rejection.
Yeah,
amongst
exactly.
parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does she feel just having kind of shared that and just being with you with that now?
She feels relieved and like the chains on her ankles came like opened.
That's great. Yeah. So, what else are you noticing that she needs?
I think she seems like she needs some fun and play and adventure.
Mm-hmm. Is that something that she feels ready to go and do with you? To do in fantasy or to talk about doing outside in the real world?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been thinking about different little trips, just even like a 2-hour drive or to go to the desert or even going to the beach. I've been isolating more lately, but that's been like pulling me. And so I think she wants to do that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what else needs to happen with you and her?
I don't know. I'm kind of getting like maybe she needs to unburden.
Mm-hmm. Okay, like going through some of the processes we've done before.
Yeah.
Okay. Does she feel like she's stuck in a time?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you can go back in that time with her and just be for her however she needed someone to be. If there's anything she needs you to do for her or with her, or to say to someone.
Yeah. So in that situation that I mentioned, there was this conversation that was kind of like the turning point. I don't remember a lot of it because I got triggered. So I felt like several people were attacking me, and I just like shut down and started crying. And I can't even really remember a lot of what was said. I just remember that feeling scared and misunderstood, and I feel like in that part, in that when that happened, that she wants a part to just kind of step up and take over and just be like, you know what, fuck you guys. Like, you don't, I'm telling you that I need help. I can't be doing all the work, and you guys don't want to do it. So like, I don't need this. I don't, and wants me to just like walk away in an empowered way, instead of feeling like, like I had no say and that they just rejected me and stole from me. But in reality, like anyway, they're like that there's, the empowered way.
Okay. So does that feel like something you can kind of go back and show her you doing?
Yeah.
And how does she like that?
Yeah, she likes it a lot.
Okay. Is there anything else that she'd like for you to say or do for her or provide for her back in that time?
I think the woman that was involved, and she had her own parts coming to the table that were jealous, and she like ended up twisting a lot of things, I think, and her parts were telling her that I was like the reason that she was still single and have no child. And if I could show, I feel like I'd like to show compassion to her, but at the same time, like a firmness of, her trying to, like, not taking on her trying to twist things and tear me down.
Yeah. Just having that boundary.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that she wants you to say or do for her back there?
Yeah, I think just also speak more directly and say how I'm feeling, towards the individuals, and not just, shutting down, like defend myself basically, but in a, well, just say how I'm really feeling and not, I tend to just shut down and kind of cower, and whatever their perceptions are of what's happening, I just let that be and feel like I don't have a right to say, well, actually, no, that's not what was happening. On my end, people projecting their intentions and whatever onto me and just saying, no, that's not, this is where I was. And, if you guys can't be there and support me, then this is not for me,
Mm-hmm. Nice. Anything else? Just check with her.
Okay. Yeah, she wants me to not, once that went down, like I just ran from the community. The situation involved like the immediate situation, or that conversation involved 3 other people, but then there were like 30 people, maybe 20 to 30 people working on the project. And then, it was a community of, maybe a few hundred people, but I just took off and never went back and hiding, feeling like I was hiding because it wasn't safe, but then also taking on the shame and blame that they attributed to me. I did go back once and show my face, but I didn't see any of them. And I was also terrified. And she wants me to go back into the community and just not take on what they've projected onto me,
Yeah. Yeah. And so is she witnessing you kind of doing all this redoing?
Yeah.
Great. Is there anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. Okay. You can invite her to come with you if she's ready. Come out of that time, come to the present day, and go anywhere that she'd like.
Yeah. Yeah, she wants to be in like my RV where she can travel and go on adventures.
Mm-hmm. And does she have any feelings, burdens, pains in her body or around her body that she would like to let go of? Where does she carry those?
she's shown me like her throat, her neck, and like shoulders.
Mm-hmm. And how would she like to give them up?
Do you usually say that still the elements, or is that
Elements is good, but you can come up with other things if you like, whatever she wants.
see her like expressing it through like breathing fire?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Not on anyone, just out.
Yeah. Okay. Tell her to do that until it feels like it's all out.
Okay.
Okay. Now you could maybe invite Buzz Lightyear guy back just to witness the work you've done and see that he doesn't have to protect this part quite as much as he used to.
Okay.
And you might ask him if he has anything he'd like to give up, or just a role that he would like to take on.
Okay. Yeah, he seems good. He's like, nah, I'm retired. He's just hanging out on a beach and
awesome.
Drinking out of coconuts.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how do you want to follow up with this part? How do you want to stay in touch and kind of make sure that these new roles and these new relationships are more cemented? You could ask the parts too if they have what ideas they have.
Okay. Yeah, so the Buzz Lightyear, he says, oh, you can always find me on the beach. And the teen part, I think, by touching my throat area.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which is interesting because I always hated, I never touched that area because I always hated anything touching that area. I could never wear turtlenecks or tight necklaces because it felt confining.
Yeah. Interesting. But it feels good now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the prescription is to do that every day for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Even if it's just for a moment. Just to remind yourself about these particular parts and the ways that they want to be with you and not be with each other, if they're not having to fight each other.
Yeah.
Does that work for the parts? Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you next time.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.